Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to another Heart to Heart Talk. I'm John Kuert, the interim pastor at First Assembly in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Thanks for stopping by today and joining me, and I hope and pray that this message today will challenge you. It probably be more challenging than it will be uplifting or inspiring because it makes us look and evaluate some very important things in life and where we are going with our lives, where we're going to spend eternity. Well, so many people in our world today are consumed with the pursuit of what seems to be important, whether it's financial security or success or popularity, material things, pleasure, influence, or power. We see how men are driven to have power in this election just recently, and we see how people go after that and seek to have power and influence. But so often, many times after they achieve it, instead of having a sense of exhilaration and fulfillment, they feel a letdown. It's hollow, it's empty, it's meaningless. It's amazing how many famous and wealthy people have ended their lives in despair. We think they should be the happiest people in the world, but they're not. Why? Because they have climbed to the top of the ladder and found that there is nothing there. True happiness is not found there. Alexander the Great in history, the head of the great Grecian Empire, said at the age of 32, he had conquered the known world, and he wept because there were no more worlds to conquer. His tremendous accomplishments didn't satisfy. Listen to the words that come from the lips of some famous millionaires of the past. Rockefeller, he said, "I have many millions, but they brought me no happiness." Vanderbilt said, "The care of 200 million is enough to kill anyone. There's no pleasure in it." Well, I'd like to try that, but I'm afraid what would happen, just the same as what has happened to many of these people. Henry Ford, he said, "I was happier when doing a mechanic's job." And Andrew Carnegie said, "Millionaires seldom smile." Although I think that there was much happiness brought to him as he gave his wealth away. As he approached the end of his life, he gave his fortunes away. Ralph Barton, one of the top cartoonists in the world, left this note pinned to his pillow before taking his own life. He said, "I have had few difficulties, many friends, great successes. I have gone from wife to wife, from house to house, visited great countries of the world, but I'm fed up with inventing devices to fill up 24 hours of the day." And how many professional athletes and Hollywood stars, after they make it to the top, find a lack of fulfillment, and many become disillusioned and tormented. They have no peace. They keep trying to find a new high in things. And Solomon was one of the rich and famous of his day. He'd be right up there with the best of them today, like Bill Gates or Hugh Hefner, or other people that we've just mentioned. Solomon had navies and armies, became the most powerful monarch in the world at that time. He pursued learning and education. He had homes and vineyards and stables and music, etc., etc. His fame spread so that others like the Queen of Sheba came to see him. Toward the beginning of his book, Ecclesiastes, Solomon wrote, "I denied myself nothing that my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my work, and this was the reward for all my labor. And yet, when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun." He had thoughts, things, and thrills. That kind of sums up Solomon. Thoughts, things, and thrills. But he had decided it was all vanity or meaningless without God. And at the end of Ecclesiastes, this is his conclusion in Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It's the whole ball of wax, folks. For God, he said, shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. In other words, this is the bottom line in life, the most basic formula for fulfillment and happiness in the long run. But many say, thanks, but no thanks. I think that I'll pursue the American dream and do it my way. You know, like that song that Frank Sinatra sang, I did it my way. Well, the question we need to ask ourselves is this. Do you want to live for what matters most for 70 years now? Or do you want to live for what matters most for eternity? Well, what most people do is to live for the here and now. But if you make the wise choice, your answer will be eternity. So it all boils down to the priority of either putting God first or putting the things of this world that are going to all pass away someday. You know what? We all have the appointment. You know, all the people that have come and gone, and even in our country, in the short history of our country, presidents have risen and fallen. They're all gone. Now we have new presidents. Now we have new people in power. But you know, someday, probably sooner than later, they'll all pass away. And then it's all done. Why live for that? And then what do they have? Now, if they can really stay humble and live lives that are pleasing to God, that's one thing. But the thing is that once people get that power and that prosperity, it's so hard to keep following the simple truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I hope that today, as you think about this, that you'll set that priority in your heart. Seek first. That's what Jesus said. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Put that first in your life. And then all these other things will be added unto you. And the important thing is to keep it first. You know, the church at Ephesus, they lost their first love. They had that at first, but you know, we all have this tendency, just like a fire tends to burn out, we all have this tendency to drift. We drift away from God. And so we need to keep ourselves disciplined and keep the focus on what is most important in life. Well, that's it for today, and I hope that each and every one of you are challenged by this, and that each of us will draw closer to the Lord in these days. They're uncertain days. I wonder if America is passing the point of no return. Dave Wilkerson prophesied that way back in 1989, that America had passed the point of no return. Back then, that's almost 30 years ago. And here we are. So it's all going to pass away someday. But he who does the will of God will abide forever. I want to be like that. I don't want to come to the end of my life and stand before the Lord and have him say, "Depart from me, you worker of iniquity, I never knew you." I want to hear him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant, enter in." Well, God bless you. Think about these things today, and not only today, but in the future, because it's the most important thing to think about. Well, God bless you. Have a great day. Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.